guys, what's up? It's Naomi the Crafty Savage here with part 2 of Naomi the Crafty Savage Goes on Vacation. Okay, stick around. I promise you, in this video, I promise, you don't want to miss it. Look out for the surprise. It could be anywhere. It could happen 2 seconds from now, 30 minutes from now. It might, who knows? But something somewhere, there's going to be a surprise. So look for it. All right. So how are you guys doing? I hope you're doing fabulous. Let's get back. So again, this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, I would recommend go back and watch part 1 of this whipping chat. It will help you to understand part 2. So where did I leave out? Where did I leave off? Yeah, so my best friend's neighbor, you know, hopefully he'll send me wood diamond painting. I'm not sure if I was rude or not. If I was, please excuse me. How are you guys doing? If I haven't already asked that, I hope you're doing fabulous. So, and then what else did we do Thursday? So then Thursday night, Danielle's boyfriend got done work, you know, and he came over and she was making steak, chicken, and it was like cut up mushrooms, peppers, onions. Oh my gosh, and there was something else. I gotta text her and ask her what it was. And she didn't fry them. She like broiled them or something. I don't know what she did to the vegetables, but that girl got me to eat vegetables, and I'm not a vegetable person. All right. Well, I'll eat them, but it's not my, you know. I'm like a steak and potatoes girl. That's what I am. So Thursday, you know, we decided we were going to go for like a little walk to Peace Valley. So we did that, and then we came back to Danielle's. She made dinner, and I was planning on doing like the tag questions with her that I had done with Allison, because I mean that would be hilarious too. But I was uncomfortable because her boyfriend was there, and I had just met him like briefly the day before. So it was kind of like I don't know, I just like felt weird like recording in front of him. And I was like, well, just do it. And I was like, but you won't be yourself. And I'm like, and I don't want to put a video out there that like I'm fake, you know what I mean? No. I mean, especially like a video like that. I'm like, nope, you're going to get the real deal, you know? And I think I probably would have like held back a little bit because I'm still, you know what I mean? I don't know him, so I'm not 100%, you know, comfortable just being my goofy, you know, random freaking self. Like, yeah. So there was that. So that was Thursday or Friday. I'm sorry. I'm skipping all over the place. I really need to freaking read. So Friday we, you know, hung out with the downstairs neighbor. He showed me, if I said Thursday, my freaking bad. He showed me, you know, his wood shop, you know, and all that. We went to Peace Valley, came home, ate. I was going to record the video with her Friday, my bad. Friday, you know, and I felt like weird and kind of like uncomfortable. So that didn't happen. And Saturday I woke up but on Friday, so before I had left my brother's, and I might have talked about this in part 1, I was originally supposed to go to Danielle's, and I was going to come back to my brother's Saturday, you know, and spend the rest of my vacation at my brother's house. But if I was going to go, but I said, I'd come back Friday to help them, clean up and set up for the party on Saturday. But I was like, if I do that, I'm like, Friday's the only time I really get to spend with Danielle. So if that's the case, probably after the party, Saturday night, I'll drive back, go see Danielle, come back Sunday. And my sister-in-law, she's awesome, and she's like, no, don't worry about it. And her mom was also, when I told her that, she was like, why would you do that? She was like, like, it'll be cleaned up, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, well, how about, like, I'm like, well, maybe, like, I can go get the cake. Like, I'll pick the cake up and bring it, when I come. So my brother calls me on Friday, and I had meant to, like, call him and talk to him, and it's just, I don't know. I was on vacation, not giving two flying fluffs about time, like, I was just living my best life, just relaxing and enjoying life, and just with peace and quiet. Like, and I really needed it. Like, I feel refreshed. I feel like I have that, like, I don't know, that spark or something that was just missing. I needed to go up there and be around my family and my friends. And so Saturday I wake up, and I say goodbye to Danielle, and I go and pick up the cake, and the party was supposed to start at 2. But hold on, let me back up, because I was going somewhere with that, living my, blessed, relaxing. That, I mean, I took pictures, but I didn't take a lot of pictures. Like, I mean, I tried to get some pictures, obviously for memories, but I didn't want my face in the, in my phone taking pictures and not, like, actually experiencing everything, if that makes sense. And so Saturday, after I had left Danielle's house, I had realized, I'm like, I didn't get any pictures with her. Crap. Like we literally just, like, hung out, and I'm not going to say we didn't do anything, you know what I mean? But, like, it was nice, you know what I mean? And I don't know, I didn't think, like, let me quick take a picture. I don't know where my brain was, like, but yeah, so I need to, I need to get my life together is what I need to do. So, but yeah, so I realized that, when I went to go pick up the cake. So I get to where I need to pick up the cake. I'm there at 12 o'clock to pick up the cake. It's about an hour away from my brother's house. So that's also why I offered. I was like, look, I'll pick up the cake, and bring it. So that way you guys don't have to drive an hour there and an hour back just to get the cake. So, I go to pick up the cake. I pay for the cake. As I'm standing there, I'm looking, because it's like a bakery. I'm looking at all their pastries, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need, I'm like, one of these, 2 of these. Yep, I'm gonna take that and this and that. Probably when you add all the crap that I got, I probably bought the top shelf of the bakery case, like, oh, it was so worth it. It was so good. Yes. Like, I didn't care. I was like, I'm on vacation. I will worry about trying to squeeze into my pants when I get home. So, I get the cake, and, they were nice enough that, like, they helped me carry the stuff out to the car, and, and helped me, like, put it in the car, and told me, like, the best way to, get it to the house, And obviously, I wasn't going to be like Speedy Gonzales, zipping down the road. And in Pennsylvania, if you've never driven on a Pennsylvania road, it is like bumpy potholes. Like, I will not complain about a Florida road. Like, the potholes that I think are potholes are nothing compared to Pennsylvania. Like, whew. Woo! Yeah, like those roads are bad. And the gas prices, good night. Good night. So anyway, so, the party was supposed to start at 2. And when I went to Danielle's, I had only packed enough clothes, up till Friday because I was going to go back Friday. So the fact that I was leaving Saturday, like, I didn't have any clean clothes. So I was like, all right, I'll just wear these shorts and this shirt. Okay, it's dirty, but, whatnot. When I get to my brother's, like, I'll change. They're still, like an hour before the party. I'm good. I have time to get ready. I pull up. There's people pulling up. So, I'm like, all right. So I also, I have the cake. I have the pastries. I have my bag from Danielle's. And I'll just a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to bring, my bag in and all that. I'm like, these people are coming. So my brother comes and he helps, bring the cake, get the cake out of the car and carry it to the house. And I quickly ran upstairs. Well, when I go in, there's more people inside already. I'm like, yo, like, I thought the party was supposed to start at 2. Like, I'm here at 1. How long have y'all been here? So, and it was, my brother turned 40. And they did like a Hawaiian, like, luau type of theme. So you had to wear a Hawaiian shirt, So I quickly ran upstairs, changed, threw my Hawaiian shirt on, came back downstairs, was like, okay. And, it was going good and all that. And then my sister showed up and I was like, oh my God, thank you. I needed that sisterly time, just to sit there and talk and laugh and judge people and maybe not judge people, you know what I mean? But just sister things. It filled my soul up to the, like, I'm overflowing. So, and then, like, the party ended and we just kind of like hung out, and me and my sister-in-law watched, what was she watching? It was like one of the real, I think, was it like the Real Housewives of like Thailand or something like that. And I was like, yeah, well, okay. And then, at the party though, so the party was nice. So the cake, there's a little surprise in the cake, which I had known about, and I had known for a while. And it was very hard for me to keep my mouth shut. But they announced that they were pregnant, and it was a girl. So I will be getting another niece come December, and her name will be Tater Tot. So I will have a Chicky Nuggie, and I will have a Tater Tot come December. So I'm excited about that. I can't wait for Tater Tot to come. Let's see, what else? What else happened Saturday before I say, my good nights on Saturday? Yeah, so then Saturday, like we go up to bed. And I'm the kind of person that, like, if I'm going away, I like to try to, like, start packing like a couple days before, and then like the night before I go away, really make sure, everything's there besides, the stuff you're going to need, that day before you leave. So Saturday, I'm like, okay, let me pack my suitcase, all that. So, I pack up my suitcase, and I just, like, for the most part, I had, Sunday, we were going, oh no, I'm sorry. I did not pack my suitcase Saturday. Sunday, I packed my suitcase because I was leaving Monday. Sunday, we got up and we went to Steph's mom's house, to the pool there, and I went swimming with Chicky Nuggie, and she is like, I love her. I love her. If I have not said that, I don't know how many times I have said that in this video so far, but Chicky Nuggie can do no wrong in my eyes. She hangs the moon, the stars, like, I just adore her. Like I said, she loves to be chased around and scared, and when you go boo, she laughs at you. She loves doing, like, she'll stick her finger at you for, like, the E.T., you know, you do, like, the E.T. phone home, and then when your finger touches, you go pow, you know, and she laughs, and oh my gosh, she melts me into a big softie. She really does. Then another one's coming. Good night. I'm gonna be broke, I tell you. Chicky Nuggie and Tater Tot. So Sunday, got up, you know, just kind of hung out for a little bit. Waited for Chicky Nuggie to get up from her nap, and we went to Steph's mom's house to go swimming. Then we had, we ordered from a Mexican restaurant, and we ate dinner at Steph's parents' house. Then we came back to my brother's house. Just kind of like, you know, Chicky Nuggie, she went to bed with her cute little self, you know, just crawling up the stairs. I love her to pieces. So that was Sunday, you know, and then we just kind of hung out for a little bit, watched TV, you know, and then, like, they went upstairs, I stayed downstairs and watched, you know, a little bit more TV, and then I went upstairs, and I felt, like, so bad Sunday night, because it was, like, have you ever had to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night? Okay, you know what I mean? Like, it happens to me, you know, sometimes I gotta get up, go pee, you know. But for some reason that night, like, I had to keep getting up, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, do I have the bladder of a squirrel right now? And it was, like, the last time I had gotten up, like, and I mean, and I'm quiet, but the hallway, like, it squeaks, like the floorboards squeak. So there's really nothing that, like, no matter how quiet you try to be. And I mean, Chicky Nuggie, she sleeps through sound, but she's also teething and still, like, happy as can be. But her bedroom wall butts right up to the bathroom. So I'm like, So as you know, I was sitting there, you know, twinkle, twinkle, little star away. I kind of hear her fussing, and I'm like, oh, well, it looks like I'm going to be spending the rest of the night here on the toilet, you know, and then she kind of, like, settled herself down, and I'm like, okay, you know, I get up, I go laid back down, and it was like, I don't know, maybe about a half an hour later, like, I wake up, and I feel like I have to pee again, and I'm like, no, like, you're going to hold it until you wake up tomorrow morning, like, I don't care. So I tried going back to bed. Well, I don't know if you've ever tried to go to sleep, like, when you have to pee. Like, and you're holding it, and you're like, yeah. So at 4:30 in the morning, I got up and went back to the bathroom, and then, you know, finally went back to sleep. But I was also, I was up Sunday night, like, repacking. You know what? I did pack my suitcase Saturday. Not like 100% packed, but the majority of it packed, because I had to rearrange it Sunday, because my sister-in-law, I was telling her about the wine that I got from America, and she was like, oh, she was like, oh, I have wine, if you want to take it. And I was like, yeah, sure, blah, blah, blah. So, she gives me this, like, big bottle of wine and these, like, 2 little bottles. And, oh, my gosh, like, the one was, like, a honey crisp dew. Like, it sounded so good, right? So, I'm like, I just got to rearrange, make room for this, like, bigger wine bottle and these, like, 2 little mini ones, wrap them up, make sure. And it's like, I'm trying everything. All right, I get them in there, and I go to, like, sit my suitcase up, and I'm like, this thing is, like, really, really heavy. So I'm like, oh, crap. I'm like, I might need to, get, like, a carry-on. So I'm like, well, let me look into it, because I had already gotten the thing, like, where you could check in, I think, like, 24 hours before your flight. So I was like, well, let me see, so when I look at my email, and I saw that I paid $124 for the carry-on, but $52 for the checked luggage, one way. And I was like, I'm not paying $124. I'm like, for a checked freaking, because I still had my backpack that I used as the carry-on when I flew down or flew up. But I don't know what I'm doing. I should just take that off, right? Yeah, freaking ding dong. Trying to be all fancy. So, when I saw what I paid, I was like, oh my gosh, there is no way I'm paying, $124. I'm like, for a freaking other carry-on. I'm like, if that's the case, I'm like, I'll just go get another suitcase. I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to have time to go get another suitcase. I'd rather pay $52 if this is too heavy. So I'm like, I'm going back and forth, and I take out, the bottles that my sister-in-law gave me, and I'm like, still doesn't, feel like that bad. Like it really got lighter. So I'm like, okay, so I'm like, well, maybe. I'm like, you thought, with all the presents that, it wouldn't be 40 pounds, and it was 36 pounds when you flew out. So I'm like, yeah, I'll see if my brother has, like, a scale, and we'll weigh it in the morning. So I wake up, and I have him carry the suitcase down for me. And I even asked him, I was like, does that feel heavier to you, than what it did when I came? And he's like, yeah. And he had, like, one of those, like, old time, doctory, you find in the, like, doctor's office scales, So he stuck it, we take it out to his garage, and he sticks it on the scale. And he's like, yep. He's like, this is 46 pounds. And I was like, oh, my gosh. I'm like, I'm going to have to take these wine bottles out. I'm like, I really want them. I'm like, can you guys mail them to me? And he's like, yeah. Because I told him, I was like, I'm not paying $124, for carry-on. I'm not going to do it. So he's supposed to be mailing them to me. So I took them out, in the suitcases later. So I'm like, okay, and then he helped me, carry my suitcase, out to the car, and I had to say goodbye to Chicky Nuggie, and it was the hardest freaking thing I think I ever, like, did. Like, I did not want to leave. Like, if I would have missed my flight, like, I just would have missed the flight. I don't care. Like, I just spend more time with Chicky Nuggie and my sister-in-law. Like, she kept trying, my sister-in-law and my sister, they kept, trying to convince me to, move back to Pennsylvania. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm like, if the rent doesn't change around here, or, the pricing and housing, like, to buy a house, if they don't come to realistic numbers, because it's really, yeah. So, like, my rent, starting in September, it's going up $115. And I was like, you know, maybe it's time to move. Not that I wanted to move. Like, I hate packing the stuff up and moving and unpacking. Like, I don't want to do it every year. And honestly, it was like I said, my plan was when I moved in here to like be here for a year, you know, look for a house, because the pricing of housing was reasonable then, you know, and like move out, you know, because I bought a house, you know, when the lease was up in September. And yeah, no, people like they've lost their minds, their marbles, the toys to their Happy Meal for like the pricing that they're asking for these houses. Like, no. Like, no, I'm not going to go into debt. Like, debt. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're going to go into, like, some kind of debt, you know, buying a house. But I'm not going to break my back, you know, to buy a house that's, like, last year was $200,000 cheaper. You know what I mean? Like, no, I'm not doing it. You've lost your ever-loving mind. But the rent, like, whew. So my rent went up to $1,600. And I'm like, I guess I could swing it, because like I started looking, and or I'm sorry, it's gonna go up to $1,600 starting September. So like, because I was like, well, let me look, you know, and see if I can find something. And yeah, 1 bedrooms, and like I said, I'm in a 2-bedroom, you know, gated community. You know, like a little fenced in backyard, screened in patio. So like 1 bedrooms that are like more than half the size of where I'm at now are starting at like $1,800. So I'm like, yeah, nope, it's still cheaper just to, you know, stay where you are. But like I said, like come next year when the, you know, leases due, I'm like, depending on, you know, what they raise it to, I'm like, and I even told, you know, my boss today, and I'm like, you know, I'm not saying it to be like mean or saying it's 100% going to happen, but I'm like, something's got to give. I'm like, because, you know, come next year, I'm like, if my rent goes up anymore, you know, and the way the rent is around here and the price of housing, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to afford, excuse me, to live in Florida. I'm like, I'm going to have to move back to Pennsylvania. And he was like, well, you know, like the rent's, you know, like the same up there. And I'm like, yes and no. I'm like, you know, I'm still on like the, you know, like the market groups and Facebook yard sale stuff. And I've seen people post, you know, like somebody just posted it was a 3-bedroom for $1,200 a month. I'm like, say what? Like, I'll pack my crap up right now. And with my job, like, I don't necessarily have to be in Florida to do my job. Like, I can work remotely, you know what I mean? As long as I have the internet, I can work from anywhere. It is the, you know, it would just be, I would have to UPS stuff, you know, down to Florida to my boss. So it's like, you know, I could move back up to Pennsylvania, and yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I guess only time will tell what I'm gonna do there. So yeah, I don't know. I like Florida because I don't have to deal with the snow. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, there's some things that are cheaper in Florida that are not cheaper in Pennsylvania, but then there's some things that are cheaper in Pennsylvania that aren't cheaper here in some situations. So yeah. And then let's see. You know, I should probably be reading my notes. Here I go again. not reading my freaking notes. Alrighty, so where were we? Yes, so, Monday, the suitcase, was 46 pounds, and then, so I left. I had to drive away from my Chicky Nuggie, and I cried. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I cried. I miss her already. Oh my gosh. She's like the sweetest, like, daintiest, like, tiny little, like, light as a feather. Like, you can't play the toss-up game with her because she'll fly. But yeah, so I left Monday, and I was like driving to the airport, and I go to drop the car off, and the guy comes up, and I'm like, do I just leave the key in? Da, da, da. And he's like, well, do you have the paperwork? And I'm like, and the thing is, I knew I saw it the night before. I could not. I'm like, crap. I'm like, I think it might be somewhere in my suitcase. And he's like, don't worry about it. He's like, I can do it this way. It just takes a little longer. So, and he's like doing it, checking out the car, making sure everything's okay. He walks around the car, and he comes back up to the, the driver's side. And he's like, excuse me, miss. He's like, by any chance, he's like, did you hit a squirrel? And I'm like, no, why? And he's like, because there's a dent on, the passenger side, bumper. And I'm like, what? And I like jump out of the car, and I'm like running around the car to the passenger side, and I look, and he was like, and I was like, I don't see anything. And he kind of like chuckles, and then I realize I was like, he's like, what did I ask you, did you hit? I was like, a squirrel. I'm like, if I would have hit a squirrel, it would not leave a dent on the bumper. I mean, unless it's like some like massive, giant freaking squirrel. Yeah, so he was just messing with me. So, that was funny. Like, not at the time. Like, when I realized he was messing with me, I had a good laugh. But at the time, I'm thinking like, oh my God, no, they're going to keep this like $500 deductible. Like, I could really use that money. But the whole going through your head, I was like, I can't believe he got me, So then I get my stuff out of the car, and I, stand, in the part like where the bus comes and picks you up, because to drop the car off, you got to go to arrivals. But obviously, if you're leaving, you need to be on the departure side, So the bus comes and picks you up and drops you off at your terminal. I get there, and I see like you could weigh your suitcase, and I see one of the like Frontier people, and I was like, can I put my suitcase on here, and see if it. I'm like, because I think it might be a little heavy, and she's like, yeah, you just put it on there. And I was like, well, I tried it, and nothing happened. So, I showed her, and she's like, yeah. She was like, well, here, follow me, so I quickly just, like, followed her, and she just, we stuck it on one of the weight things up there, and it was 41 pounds, and I was like, oh, my gosh. And I told her, about the debacle at my brother's. Now, I left out the part about the wine. I just said, there was... more, I had already taken out stuff, and she's like, don't worry about it. She's like, we'll let you go with the 1 pound. She was like, it's not going to hurt anything. She's like, because there's people, that don't even hit the 40 pounds. So, it'll equal out. And I was like, oh my gosh, awesome. Thank you. I'm like, because if not, I'm going to need to pull out my book bag. I'm going to have to rearrange stuff, pull stuff out, blah, 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 blah. So, I get up there, so I get in line, and I get up there, they weigh my suitcase, they let it go, and the lady was like, don't you have a carry-on? And I was like, I didn't pay for the carry-on for the flight back. She's like, no. She's like, you have a carry-on. And I was like, really? I'm like, do you mind if I just quick grab my book bag out of there? Because I usually have like a big giant purse that, fits everything, and the kitchen sink. Like, you need a Band-Aid, you need Elmer's glue, like, you're missing, one drill from, your diamond painting. Just hit me up. I probably got it in my big purse somewhere. Like, I got that color drill for you. I got it. Let me just dig, right? So, and when I go away, I, go to like a smaller purse, because obviously I don't need all that. So, I pull out my book bag and I, shove that purse in there, because I also know, I'm like, well, once I get, through security, I'm going to probably buy something to drink, something to snack on. I'm like, I'm going to have to hold it because it's not going to fit in my purse. So, I do that. I get, the book bag out, all that. Okay, so I get through that. So now, we're in security. And, I take my sneakers off. I put them in the thing, put the book bag, the cell phone, the whole kit and caboodle. Send it through the scanner. Okay, my turn to walk into, like the scanner portal thing where you put your hands up. Okay, no problem. Do the thing. She's like, okay, step out. She's like, I'm going to need you to step to the side. She's like, it's showing something, here in your waist and like, over here. And I'm like, what? And she was like, she was like, I'm going to, need to search you. Do you want to do this here, or do you want to, go into, like a private room? And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't have anything on me. I'm like, could it be, like my jeans button? And she's like, no. She's like, it's, it's probably nothing, blah, blah, blah. She's like, but I'm going to have to pat you down. I'm like, oh, okay. So she's like, turn around, put your feet here, spread your legs, and she's like going up my legs, my butt, She's like, turn around, hands up, up the front. She's like, lift up your shirt. I lift up my shirt. She goes down the front of my jeans. So here, you want to know what showed up? I had this, like, flowy, like, tank top on that, like, flowed and, like, and it came down on, like, different angles. It's really flowy. Like, I love this top. Well, because it was so flowy, it bunched together and looked like I was trying to, like, hide something in my pants. I kid you not. So, you ever flying? Don't wear flowy clothing, because it will look like you were trying to smuggle something through TSA, and you will get, like, a nice, feel up, and it ain't the, sexy, feel me up, like, that you're looking for, all right? No, you don't want that, okay? So, I get through all that, and I'm like, okay, let me, now go and get my stuff, get my shoes back on, and let me go find this flight. So, I find out, like, where my gate is and all that. And I'm sitting there, and I look over, and I see the sign for Chicky and Pete's. Now, if you don't know what Chicky and Pete's are, they are from Philadelphia. They do have a couple, the majority of their locations are like in the Philadelphia area, a couple in Jersey. I think there might be, they have like a few. I think there's one in Texas, and I think it's like at a stadium or something like that. One in like Florida. But like I said, the majority of them. So they're very well known for like their crab fries and their cheese sauce. So I was like, I was just violated by the security, of TSA, because my shirt is flowy and it looks like I was trying to conceal something in my pants. I'm gonna go get some French fries, I'm like, I have time, my flight doesn't leave for an hour. So I stand in line. I stand in line. Okay, it finally gets up to me. You know, I'm like, I just want French fries. You know, he's like, okay, da, da, da. You know, so you step aside, you know, you're waiting for it to come up. Like, they're getting ready to board. I'm still waiting for my fries. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. You can leave without me. Like, today sucks. I had to, you know, I'm leaving Pennsylvania. I had to leave my Chicky Nuggie behind. My shirt hates my life and decided, you know, it wanted to give me cheap thrills, you know, that the TSA officer could, you know, frisk me. Yeah, I was like, I need these fries. I'm like, Chicky and Pete's, it's not, like I said, it's like, it's a Philly thing. And I'm like, it's home. I'm like, I can't get them in Florida. And like I said, there is one location, but it's like 3-4 hours away from me. And as much as I love Chicky and Pete's fries, like, I am not going to drive that far, you know, to get them. Not gonna happen, Captain. So, yep, so I finally get my, you know, fries. You know, they start boarding. I get on. I fly home. I land in Sarasota, and everybody, like, I walk outside, and I'm like, oh, yes, it is Florida hot. So, like, Pennsylvania was, like, everybody kept saying, like, it was, like, really, really hot, and it was, like, hotter than what it usually was. And now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say it was, like, oh, you guys are crazy, it's cold here. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, it was warm, but I'm like, this ain't hot. I'm like, you want hot? I'm like, come to Florida. I'm like, the temperature will tell you it is 88 degrees, but it feels like 103. They lie to you. That, you know, they try to trick you with that foolery that, yep, it's 88 degrees, but I'm not going to show you, you know, tell you what the feel like is. You see that feel like, and you're like, yeah, that makes more sense, because that heat don't feel like no 88 degrees. So, and I kept telling everybody, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it's warm. I'm like, you know, I'm like, but it's not like hot. And then now the last 2 days I was there, you know, it kind of got like Florida hot. So I was like, okay. Yeah, but I walked outside, you know, to go get to my car in the airport parking lot. And I was like, yep. It is welcome home, where it is so hot it hurts to breathe. Yeah. And then, you know, so I got in the car. I went and picked up Mr. Roscoe Rooney. And I think he had a good time. You know, like, I left him a little note. I packed his peanut butter and jellies. You know, I came to pick him up. You know, he had 2 peanut butter and jellies left. I packed a buttload of peanut butter and jellies. So they definitely, I think he had a good time. Now, the only thing is, like, when he's there, now they'll let him on the furniture. Not that they like it, but they cover it. Because when they watched him for me before, they didn't want him on the furniture, and ever since I've had him, I'm like, he's allowed on the furniture, he's allowed on the bed. Like, Mr. Roscoe P. Jenkins is basically allowed to do whatever his little heart desires, and I let him. I mean, for the most part, you know, obviously if he wants to be mean and nasty or something, no, but, you know, he basically does whatever he feels like. So I picked him up, you know, I came home, and I brought my stuff in, I brought his stuff in, and let's see, like, and when I got home, it wasn't like I'm getting ready to dump the whites into the blue. See, look, I was gonna do it again. I just more or less, like, found, like, the stuff that, like, was, like, I needed, you know, like, I found my phone charger, you know, found, like, his water bowl, all that, you know, pulled that out. But here are my Stitch stickers. Aren't they freaking adorable? So, you know, they're supposed to peel. Gonna make liars out of me. Oh, so like they're clear. That's pretty cool. Right? Yeah, like they're clear. Can you see that? That is pretty freaking cool. Okay, so let me see. What else? Maybe I should try to sort through these drills, right? I say that, and then I'll be like, why did you do that to yourself, Naomi? Because you're the dingbat that mixed them? All right, anyhow. Where was I at? So, yeah, so I got home, and like I said, I more or less just pulled out, and found, like the important stuff, like the toothbrush, phone charger, and I was like, I'll unpack. I'll take care of it tomorrow. Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. The suitcase still might be downstairs, not unpacked. But in my defense, my laundry room is like downstairs outside on the porch. So why am I going to haul this heavy suitcase out, all the way upstairs just to have to take the dirty laundry out of it and, bring it back downstairs and outside to do the laundry? So, yeah. And I was going to do laundry yesterday, but then my property management, they texted me and told me, that the community was shutting the water off in the building because somebody, like one of the lines, somebody's plumbing or something, they need to find something with the line, so they would have the water like shut off for a couple hours that day. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And I had asked her about the roof because I had filled out a maintenance request like back in April. The roof started leaking in like 3 spots. Now it's like up to like 6 spots. And I told her, I was like, look, I go out there and I try to, like catch it so it doesn't ruin the carpet. And like it's an outdoor, carpet on the patio, but it's, still, I'm like, it wasn't, just trying to keep it nice and all that. So she sent a roofer out, and, he came out and he was like, yeah, he's like, this is probably what's going to happen. He's like, well, he's like, this tree branch needs to be cut back. He's like, and I told him, I was like, I'm like, when it really started leaking was, the power washer guy came out, and power washed it. I'm like, and then, when it rained, that's when I, started noticing the leaks. And he's like, I know what happened. He's like, as soon as you said the power washing guy, he's like, he probably came up here. He's like, in the type of roof you have, I guess he said there's 2 ways it can be done. And the guy probably did it like on high. And there's like tape or something. Like there's some type of tape. Cause I guess it's like a pan roof that's out that covers like my lanai, the screened-in porch. So I'm like, okay. And he was like, yeah, like, and you use this, like, roofing tape. He's like, and probably, when he used the power washer on it, he's like, he probably lifted it up. He's like, I guarantee it. So he's like, but this tree branch needs to be cut down. Da, 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 da. He's like, I'll get an estimate, and let her know, blah, blah, blah. She was like, and, if she likes it, he was like, we'll probably be out here, it won't be till next week. And he was like, she seems to be liking, our numbers so far, blah, 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 and that guy, he was really nice. He knew what the hell he was talking about, like, so I hope they go with him. I haven't, heard anything back, but she probably also has to get a hold of, because, she's just the property management, probably has to get a hold of, like the landlord who's the actual owner of the house, and he's in France, I think. Yeah, I think. Just probably to get like approval and stuff like that. I mean, but I don't know how much it is, but it'd probably be smart because it's only going to get worse. You know, like if you don't fix it, it's only going to get worse and more expensive to fix. That's just my thinking, you know, like if you get it taken care of right away. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, you know, there's money issues like where it can't happen. But I do know the longer you wait to get something fixed, usually the worse it becomes and more expensive it becomes. So, yeah. Fun stuff. So, probably have a roofer out here next week. So, hopefully he's a hottie. You know, that should be a good, interesting whipping chat. I'll be like, so the roofer came, bada bing, bada boom. Right? No, stop. I'm such a butthole. Oh, man. So, yeah, that was, you know, Monday. You know, work was obviously, or no, that was Tuesday. I flew back Monday. You know, and Tuesday I got up and I knew work was going to be crazy after being gone for a week. And there was 78 emails waiting for me, you know, plus my normal stuff that I would normally do on a Monday that didn't get done. So I thought I would have it like all caught up by today. You know, like for the most part, maybe like a couple little stragglers. And no, I don't. And it's not really my fault. It's because I'm getting like half the freaking information or not the right information. So like the one builder, they paid with a check and, you know, my boss deposited it. You know, I go to do the deposit. I'm looking at the check. And so obviously they're paying a couple invoices. I know that. And the total of the invoices, you know, is like $84,000. I think I keep hitting the damn tripod with my head. But the check is only, you know, 5,000 or 51,000, you know, 300. So I'm like, okay, well, and they owe, you know, more than that. They have more invoices than that total that. So I'm like, so what invoices, you know, do these go to? Because you don't have our invoice numbers on the check. Obviously, you didn't pay the total amount of the invoices, so you're probably holding a retention, you know, for when we get done the job, you know, and that's fine. But like, I need to know the amount that you held from each invoice, and each invoice is different because it's a different model, so the pricing is different for each unit. So it's not even like I could be like, okay, well, I think it's this, let me, you know, divide it by this, like, which, I mean, honestly, I mean, I could do, but then what winds up happening is at the end of the job, you know, when there's still money left to be due, and you're like, well, you owe this, you know, on this job at this unit, and they're like, no, well, we paid that, blah, 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 blah. You know, and you just assumed and kind of just stuck the invoices wherever. It's a nightmare that you got to like go back and look at the check and see where you applied it and what amount you applied it to. Like it's just a nightmare. And like with the billing, my boss is giving, you know, the guys out on the road, like not more freedom, but what is it, more responsibility. So they, you know, like some of them are doing the billing, and the one guy calls them, you know, and he's like, okay, you know, for this builder, this address, blah, blah, blah. So I get it for the billing, and I go to bill it, and I'm like, I don't have that job. I'm like, I have that street, but not that house number. And I don't want to assume, because I have done this also, where I'm like, you know, they probably just got the house number, you know, confused, but, you know, the street's right, you know, blah, 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 blah. But there have been times where we haven't drywalled the house, But the builder will be like, hey, do you mind just coming through and doing this touch-up? Like, it just might be like their personal house or their mom's house or a friend, you know what I mean? Someone's selling that they know and they just need to touch up a drywall. And they're like, yeah, just bill me, da-da-da. And it's like right down the street. Or a neighbor, sees us doing work and asks. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so I've learned, don't just assume, because you make a out of yourself. So, I call them up and I'm like, and there was two jobs, that had this, and it's just waiting for the phone calls back. It stops you. So you're like, okay, well, I can't finish this, so I can move on to this. All right, well, let me try to do this. So yeah, it's just aggravating, and it is what it is. And yeah, that is that. So I am, oh, geez, you guys can't even see me. I'm over here picking out these diamonds, that I mixed together, because I just like to, make my life way more difficult, right? Right. Okay, so if you made it this far, it is giveaway time. I have hit 500 subscribers. Thank you, everyone. So again, if you made it this far into part 2 of this Whip and Chat, you guys are the true MVPs. So, what am I giving away for my 500 subscriber, for hitting 500 subscribers? I will be giving away 2 Harbor Freight containers. Oh, I did also want to add, I will also have this open to international, just as long as it's not too outrageous. Worst case scenario, I might split it up and maybe mail one part of it out one week and the next another week, but yeah, so international peeps, don't be afraid to jump into this giveaway. So we got our Harbor Freight containers. We have, this is a Muni Made. I have not opened it. So whoever wins this, I do apologize. I'm trying to be gentle. I ordered this off of Muni Made a while ago. This is the purple diamond painting, tray. It has, Muni Made on the side. It comes with the lid, a stopper. But that's not all, folks. Right? That's not all. No. It doesn't end there. No. Alrighty, so let me wrap that up. So I do apologize, whoever wins this. I tried to be gentle. Alright, we have some metal tips that I will also be giving away to the winner. If I could get this open. Oh, it's taped. I'm not going to go through all that, but you can see you have focus, right? Focus says me. Promise you you have like your little rubber bands to go around, the edges of your metal tips. So it looks like you got an angled tip, a pointed one, another single placer, just various different sizes, and the rings for metal tips for diamond painting. Let me put that back in there. But there's more. There's more, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is the Muni Made, business card. You will also be getting this diamond painting pen that I found on Amazon. It has blue flowers. Come on, light. I don't know if you can see that. It is clear with dried blue flowers inside of it. I thought it was beautiful, as well as some other multi-placers and some wax. Let's put that in there. But that's not all. No. I will also be giving away this light pad cover that covers the button on your light pad so you don't actually turn it off. This comes from Tig's Treasure, as well as this. This is a diamond painting like baggie holder, pen holder, whatever. I got stuff rolling around in it. Whatever you want to use it for, so you don't work out of containers, but you work out of baggies. We're throwing this in there as well. So, how do you enter for a chance to win these amazing prizes, right? Right. So, down in the comment section, I want you, now don't make it obvious. You know, don't mention anything about a giveaway or I will delete your comment. So the word that I'll be looking for the giveaway is no, because that might be, yeah, Stitch. STITCH. Use that in a sentence to be entered, you know, for these amazing giveaways for my 500 subscriber count. Subscriber giveaway. If I could get my life together. And again, this is for US and international. I don't want to leave my international folks out there. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. When I started this channel a year ago, I never, you know, thought I would hit 500, and here I am, and it's all because of you. I did also want to say I will leave this giveaway up until, I think probably Wednesday. I'll leave the comments, you know, you have till Wednesday to watch this whip-in chat and to comment. And I will be drawing a winner. No, because I record Wednesday. Shoot. You will have until probably about Wednesday night to watch this movie. Once I, you know, edit next week's whip-in chat, I will throw in, you know, and announce the winner in next week's whip-in chat. So, again, to enter for the 500 subscriber giveaway, use the word Stitch, that's STITCH, for your chance to win. All right, guys. Okay, I don't know. I think I am. No, am I done picking out diamonds? I don't know what else I can talk about here. So, you know what, guys, with that said, I'm gonna hop on out of here. You guys are awesome. That's all I'm gonna say. But if you're new to the channel and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. And I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!